Hey everybody, welcome to November's sampler. I'm going to get right started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make half square triangles. So I've already marked a line and I've sewn on either side of that marked line. So now I'm just going to cut it apart and press it. And you're going to make a total of 4 half square triangles. Okay. Alright, so let me press these. You guys have done a lot of these. I didn't explain how to make a half square triangle, but if you're confused, just look back into a previous month's instructions and you'll see exactly how to do it. But in today's instructions, I just say make half square triangles. Okay. So here are my half square triangles, and I'm just going to cut off these bits because they just add a lot of bulk in your seam allowance. Okay. Half square triangle. Next thing we're going to do is the very center of this block. And what I'm going to do is, this is my middle, and then I'm going to sew this onto either side of the center. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so there's on one side, and now I'm going to sew it on the opposite side, the same square. And I'm going to press it out to the outside edges just because it's the darker fabric, but it really doesn't matter. So first I press it flat, and then I'm going to press it out to the side. Okay. All right. So now I am going to add a rectangle that's going to go on the top and the bottom of this thing. So I'm just matching up the ends. You want to always make sure that your ends match up. So you can either try to hold it in place, which is what I tend to do, or you can pin it. But you don't want one piece to end up longer than the other. I'm just going to press this towards that big rectangle. Another rectangle, so it looks like this. Again, I want my ends to meet. Okay, so this is my center. All right, so now we're going to work on the long, these are like the middle end units. So I have a rectangle, and then I have some background squares with a diagonal line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a corner, line it up right in that corner. Okay, so it's just like this. And I'm going to sew right on that diagonal line, not a 1/4 inch, but right on that diagonal line. And you're going to find if you start sewing here, it's not going to eat your point. Sometimes if you start sewing here, it'll eat that point and it will go down into your feed dog. So I always want to start here. And again, I want to sew right on that line. And you're going to make a total of 8 of these. I'm just going to show you 2. So again, I'm going to start here and end here. Line that all up. The first ones really didn't matter what direction I was going in, but see how this one is going this way, so I want my next one to go like this. Okay, see how the points are here and it goes out to these outer corners. One, making sure I have it all lined up right. I forgot scissors, so we're just going to make do. Okay, so now I'm going to press it flat, and then I'm going to flip these squares so then it looks like this. Okay, see how that looks? Now that I've pressed them, then I can trim away all this extra fabric back here. And I like to do it after I press it because it keeps it more stable and doesn't stretch as much. I find if I trim it first, then it stretches on the bias and then it's all distorted. So I'm trimming away to about a 1/4 inch. And I'm measuring this time. You don't have to measure. I'm measuring this time. Let me trim this one. I have 2 of these. And I'm going to sew them right along here just like that. Okay, so I'm going to sew from here to here. I'm making this unit right there. Needle in the wrong spot. Okay, so I'm just gonna press it. And again, you're gonna make 4 of these. Right. Try to go in this way. Alright, so I'm going to sew these together in rows. This one here. Okay. So I'm just sewing these 3 sections together. I forgot my pins. Can you get me some pins, Lydia? Thank you. Okay. So ironing. In the middle section, I have, if you look at the back side, I have a lot going on with these side units, so I'm gonna press this towards the middle, because it's gonna just go to that side much, much easier. Okay, so I'm pressing towards the middle. now I'm going to press towards the sides for these end units. So I'm going to press to the ends. I always want to go in the opposite direction. I'm going to press towards the outer edge, those half square triangle units. Okay, so now I'm going to pin. I always like to pin where these seams meet. Since I pressed in opposite directions, the seam should nest up really nice. Do the opposite side. Again, pinning where the seams meet. I'm going to press it. I'm going to be all done. Okay, so the direction I'm going to press it is towards the middle. Or am I? No, I'm going to press it out to the sides, out to the outer edges. I have less seams if I go to the outer edges. Like to help it where the seams, the bulky seams are, because then the iron will just glide over that area. Okay, and that's it.